Nice to see you. It's like they went from Gen Z to Gen X. I need my walker out here. That was funny. It's so bad when you have to demand a laugh from the audience. Let me just ask you, if you had known Barry Diller was going to make a bid for MGM yesterday, would you have agreed to sit here today?
Would have given it a second thought. Let's just say it hasn't been the week I expected it to be.
So I don't know if you heard the news, but Barry Diller's People Inc. has made a big bid to take MGM private and take a majority. They already own 26% of the company. The thing that he said in his letter to his fellow board directors is that the public markets undervalue MGM and that he thinks there's incredible assets, and he said superb management. That's got to make you feel good.
Yes, that's gratifying.
What is it that you think investors are systematically getting wrong about MGM's value?
Well, I've been with MGM for about 5.5 years now, and probably for the past 3 years on earnings calls, I'll often take the time to lay out what I think is the case for the valuation. And then when you account for a big business we have in Macau, our digital business, this great project we're building in Japan, you account for all of that, you know, the valuation on our domestic business, which most people know about in Las Vegas and other places, is at a very low multiple, and that's been the case for quite a while. Why do folks miss that despite, you know, me harping on it? I'm probably just not communicating it well enough, but also, you know, it's a complicated group of businesses, digital, bricks and mortar, cash flow generating now, big developments for the future. So it's kind of a mixed bag, and, you know, it's sometimes investors just aren't doing that work to value the sum of the parts.
You know, it's not just you, though. It's across the board in the sector. So we just had last week another billionaire, Tillman Fertitta and Fertitta Entertainment, making a bid that's been accepted for Caesars. Is there something about billionaires in blackjack? Is there something about this being the moment to go in and snatch up at a great deal what are incredible properties, incredible operations? A lot of the property is owned now by a REIT, but incredible operations with cash flow that is real and tangible.
I think that, you know, whether it be the Tillman Fertitta example with Caesars or others, these are long-term investors that are understanding the long-term value of these businesses and the fantastic and reliable cash flow from the regional markets to the dynamism of Las Vegas. I mean, I was with some investors yesterday, and one of them asked, well, now that Las Vegas is bottoming out, I was like, bottoming out? I missed that one because I was looking at occupancies on Wednesday nights in March of 98.5%.
Wow.
This business has just, you know, been doing exceptionally well for a long time, and I think that, you know, long-term investors realize that.
There's a lot to unpack there. One is that if they think it's bottoming out, it may have been because last year was a rougher comp year over year. I mean, Las Vegas just went gangbusters after the pandemic. Yeah. During the pandemic, it was one of the cities that was still open and running. Last year, your boss, the CEO, Bill Hornbuckle, said to me in an interview, I think we got it wrong with value, that people have always, I mean, Vegas is aspirational, yes, but you have a lot of customers who come to Las Vegas for the perceived value of it. And Hornbuckle used the example of a $26 bottle of water and how that just is off-putting to a lot of people who have saved up money to make their Vegas trip.
Yeah, he was absolutely right in that. And, you know, the fact of the matter is Las Vegas has always been a value, but it's also a place where people want to go and splurge. And I think what we need to do, and I think we're doing quite well now, is giving folks that opportunity. They can do something and spend a lot of money for, you know, things that they can't do anywhere else, but at the same time, they have options even within our highest end properties, for food and beverage and et cetera, entertainment for real value.
Is it easier for a company like MGM to appeal both to the budget-conscious traveler and to those who are looking for scarcity, an elevated, luxurious experience, because you have so many properties? Is it easier for you than for some of your competitors that are much more niche focused?
I think it is easier for us. It is, and we can do this. I mean, you take even within one property, the MGM Grand, it's an absolute beast of a property. It has our finest VIP, lodging, 12,000 square foot suites. It also has among our most economical rooms.
Wait, can I just say, I went there for a party. It was at either the gaming conference or Super Bowl or F1, I don't remember. The most amazing, they call it the villa, right?
The mansion.
The mansion. The staff and the service, you would think you were in a 6-star hotel, maybe in China, not at the MGM Grand.
Yeah, you feel like you're in another world. And within that same complex, 100 yards away, are hotel rooms that you can probably get for, $150 a night or less. And so it's easier for us to create that kind of diversity of experiences. On the other hand, there is an advantage for certain of our competitors who are playing kind of in a single lane, and have maybe that single segment or a few customer segments they're appealing to. I'd much rather be where we are, because we introduced this all-inclusive package just a couple of months ago, where people can come to Luxor, Excalibur, and for a couple of $100 a night, they're getting 3 meals and a show and a roller coaster. By the way, not many people are going on the roller coaster, but that's part of the package. And it's a great value.
One of the things that Diller also said in his letter to the directors was that he thinks the proposition of MGM is its constancy in an era of AI. It's not a business that AI can take away. What do you think that means? Is it the entertainment part of this, the experiential that so many people have a yen for?
I read his letter back in April to IAC shareholders, where he kind of went through the same theme. I completely agree with it. And it really kind of underlies much of our discussion in the boardroom. And I think what he means is really about the in-person live entertainment that we have in Las Vegas. We believe at MGM Resorts that live entertainment, these live experiences, are not going to become less important. They're actually going to become much more important. And that people will seek that out, maybe even more than they do today. Because let's face it, the way people are pursuing entertainment is so much different now from the way it was even 5 or 10 years ago. Anybody can be a creator of content and IP. And we just think people more and more are going to want to come together for entertainment.
Well, you're catering to that, right? Like the influencers who want to come to Vegas and put out content at one of your casinos.
Yeah, we're doing that in a bunch of different ways. The latest one we've done is we actually built, we call it a streaming lounge, but it's in effect a streamer studio within our Park MGM casino. And this is a proper casino that is built for folks to come in and create videos of themselves playing craps or playing roulette or slot machine or blackjack. And they broadcast to millions of followers. So this is, it's a whole new element of gaming entertainment, where the gaming entertainment used to be between the player and the game, or the player and the slot machine, or maybe against each other in poker. Now it's actually broadcasting the gaming to millions of viewers, and so we're just leaning into that pretty dramatically.
It sounds like a great place to have a CNBC live shot.
We should do that.
Yeah.
It's built for that.
I'm just planning now ahead of the next time I need to be in Las Vegas reporting. So you have Bruno Mars, who's been doing a long residency, but now you're pushing that forward with his lounge there and IP. Talk to me a little bit about how you're taking the entertainment then and trying to weave it through other parts of the business.
Entertainment has been changing constantly in Las Vegas, and I've been in Las Vegas since 1997. And the model used to be that you'd come to Las Vegas, you'd gamble, you'd stay in the hotel, of course, and you buy a ticket to a show. Now, the nature of that show has changed. It used to be, production shows, and then, Cirque du Soleil was very popular, and residencies in the 2000s. But it was always kind of, there were two, or three discrete things going on. Now, and the Bruno Mars thing is a perfect example, all of these experiences are integrated in some way, or the most powerful ones, with some other element of the experience. So whenever we're signing a new entertainment deal, it seems more often than not, there is a food and beverage component to it. There's a retail component to it, oftentimes appearances. So my own personal favorite, New Kids on the Block, right? They'll play at Dolby Live, and then after Dolby Live, they'll be appearing at our nightclub at Park MGM. Bruno Mars plays at Dolby Live. He has his own club over at the Bellagio, and by the way, we kind of expected he might show up there 3 or 4 times a year. He went there, I think, 50 times last year.
Wow.
And oftentimes getting up on stage and playing.
Why didn't you bring him here? Right? That would have been a real delight for the audience.
And BTS plays Allegiant Stadium last weekend. Massive retail presence. We'll convert one of our restaurants to a BTS-themed restaurant, and on and on and on. So it's always integrated beyond simply the tickets that you buy.
So you've got that, and then MGM was the early adopter of sports in Las Vegas, which was kind of strange because this professional sports didn't want anything to do with Las Vegas for a long time. But Jim Murren, the former CEO, sat down with me years ago and said, no, this is going to be a sports town. Mm-hmm. MGM owned the Las Vegas Aces, which now it's sold. How instrumental are sports in that whole picture of experiential that you're talking about?
I mean, I would say the sports side of this might even be more impactful than just the entertainment side. And I do expect we'll hopefully get an NBA team in a couple of years. Las Vegas will have been the fastest ever to go from 0 to 4 major sports teams. It'll be a period of about 11 or 12 years. But where it really makes a difference is the experience that we create around this, and it's a lot about the away fans coming to Vegas. I mean, the poor Raiders, a lot of their home games are actually away games because so many people come from other cities. And Hornbuckle has said this, and it's true, a 3-hour game becomes a 3-day weekend for us. And you think about the A's that are coming in 2028. Well, if you're a Major League Baseball team, you can't advertise your game in another city. So if the A's are playing the Braves, they can't put ads and promotions in Atlanta for that game. But we can, and we have a huge database of Atlanta customers, and so now that 3-game series playing the A's, that becomes an event for either casino customers or retail. So the possibilities with sports in Vegas are just almost endless.
Do you see any other city competing for Las Vegas as the entertainment capital? I mean, could Orlando follow what Vegas has done and be the thing?
The one that came to mind when you mentioned that was Nashville. But I just don't think there's the scale, the room base, et cetera. The other thing I'd add about sports is when there's not something going on in sports in Las Vegas, we create it. And so, together with other partners, we've created they brought this basketball tournament called Player Zero Tournament. This started with 8 teams a year and a half ago. It was 16 teams last year. It's going to be 32 teams this year. It's like March Madness in November, December. And it's going to bring that kind of energy and visitation, et cetera. So the Super Bowl, of course, the College Football Championship, the Final Four, these things, F1, these are all creating kind of programming throughout the year around sports.
Do you find that the audience, I mean, I've been going to Vegas since I was old enough to drink, but do you find that the audience is staying the same age-wise? Are you appealing to Gen Z? are they coming but finding different things to do? Like, are they going to day clubs instead of sitting at slot machines?
We're still really trying to figure out Gen Z and their purchasing behavior. They are coming to Las Vegas. They're spending well in the food and beverage outlets. They are not doing the kind of day clubs and partying like that their millennial older brothers and sisters used to do. In terms of entertainment, the festivals, EDC, and the rest is hugely popular, as you would expect with Gen Z. And the gambling is kind of, the gaming side of the business is still a bit of a question mark with that group.
What about in other places? Because MGM has a huge international footprint. So you mentioned that you're building in Japan, that Macau traditionally is made up about a quarter of the bottom line for MGM. You're in the process of building in Dubai, and the question about whether you're going to get a gaming license there or not probably helps that your former CEO is one of the regulators. I'm just guessing. But then you have to factor in international kerfuffles. I mean, Iran is more than that, and missiles are flying. How much does the geopolitical environment affect how you think about expanding internationally?
As a privileged industry, meaning you just can't go anywhere you'd like, you rely upon licenses. Certainly we do. There's almost a de facto kind of amount of stability that precedes any granting of gaming licenses. So Singapore is a great example of that. UAE is probably another example. Japan. So I guess I would say that current events notwithstanding in the Gulf, that typically these types of legalization is preceded by a stable regulatory environment. So we still pick our spots. Japan was a long process. The UAE right now is a non-gaming development, which could become a gaming development. Other than that, we of course have Macau. There are not that many that operate on the scale we would use.
What about digital? Because you have BetMGM, that's a joint venture with a UK company, Entain. But now you have LeoVegas, which is in the UK, you're in Brazil. Can you easily move into a bigger geographic footprint through digital?
Yeah, we can. Again, there are certain markets where, of course, it's legal and it's not. There are certain markets that have tax rates that are appealing or not, but that's something we're doing with LeoVegas right now. We're expanding it in certain countries in Europe, and then the big bet right now is Brazil.
I want to ask about your previous experience as CEO at Extended Stay.
Okay.
What did you learn from that has come into play at MGM? Like, what did you learn about customer loyalty and repeat business and the perspective that might give you on where you are now?
Wow, I mean, Extended Stay, of course, was very different business, 700 hotels across a very wide geographic area. That was really about kind of understanding who you were and really staying steadfast to that mission. And it was, even though it was a big scale business, it was pretty simple to do because it was a single segment. I think in MGM, it's really about focus, understanding who your customer is. That's hard to do sometimes in a 24/7 business with big businesses like us, but for us, it's really just focus.
The single biggest challenge moving forward for the gaming industry and the single biggest opportunity?
I would say the single biggest challenge is just innovation. It moves swiftly. These businesses we have, we're talking about bricks and mortar, really require constant experimentation, and sometimes the bets are really big financially. And so picking your spots and making those, but always continuing to innovate, that's critical. The biggest opportunity, without question, is a much deeper understanding of customer behavior and then making offers and products that are appealing. The amount of data we collect is insane. Every push of the button on a slot machine is a purchase decision at a certain price, and we're collecting all that data to use that in a way that works for the customers and for shareholders that is the biggest opportunity.
Well, you know what every gambler says, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Jonathan, thank you very much.
Thank you
so much for your attention.
Thank you, everybody.